This week I'm going to be giving you 10 tips on how to shoot really good BMX, scooter or skate edits. Hello, my name is Cade and this is DSLRguide. So I've made a number of edits over the last few years, so I thought I would just put together a little video which showcases some of the main things that are worth remembering as you film the edit and also once you get it into your editing software, because there are a lot of easy mistakes people can make and things that they just miss out. Okay, so the first tip is to use a top handle. Top handles are really useful in skating videos because they allow you to get the camera really low to the ground and you can follow the skater while you're riding a skateboard or a bike, and then you can have the camera really close to the ground and you get a lot of movement in the shots. So top handles are pretty essential for skating videos. You can get one like this. This is the Sky top handle, but you can also get a much cheaper one like the Cade or the X Grip, which are a lot cheaper and go around the back of the camera. And that brings us on to the next tip, which is about camera movement. I think a skate video, it's really important to make sure that the camera is moving for at least some of the video, because they are naturally a kind of energetic kind of video. So I think it makes sense that the shots aren't just on a tripod the whole time. Now there are a couple of ways you can do this. One of the things you can do is you can pan and tilt the camera, but a really good way of doing it is to actually follow the skaters around, whether you're just walking carefully so that you don't get a shaky camera, or whether you're riding a board yourself. And then the cool thing about this is that you can actually use a wide angle lens and that will accentuate all the movements. So any camera movement will look a lot more diverse if it is using a wide angle lens. And this is one of the reasons why people use fisheyes and stuff a lot for skateboard videos. Tip number 3 is about where you place the camera. I see a lot of videos where you can clearly tell that the person is just standing by the side of the ramp and just following them, twisting their body like that, which is fine for some of the shots, but you don't want to have that every single time. So you want to get the camera really close to the ground for some of the shots. You want to get close to the actions. That will help to accentuate the movement of it as well. And you just want to move around and try all sorts of crazy things, because otherwise it will just get too boring if all the shots are so similar. Another really good way of making your edits interesting is to add filler shots. So anything that doesn't involve them actually riding or doing a trick. So this is really good because you can show their personality and you can make it a lot more artistic by showing some landscapes or something which is related but isn't just another trick. And this is a really good way of making it more interesting for people who maybe aren't so into the actual sport, and it's also a good chance to use some different lenses to get a nice variety of shots. So the next thing is really, really important, and that is that you capture good quality audio while you're filming your edit. So the problem that a lot of people have is they will either have like wind noise in their edit, which is just really distracting, or the sounds will be really quiet so you can't really hear it, or they'll just completely mute it and all you can hear is the music. Now I think it's really important that you just spend a bit of extra time making sure you've got good sound before you finish your edit. Now the way I like to do this is I use the on-camera microphone, the Rode VideoMic Pro, and then for a couple of the shots I'll just get the camera really close and I'll hit record, but I won't worry about what the video looks like. I'll just be listening out for the sound, and then that can be my sound which I can put on top of any clips that don't have good quality sound. So if it's really windy for one of them, I can just drag that bit and put it on, and then that will make sure that I have good quality in all of my clips. And this makes a huge difference to your edit. It will really make it look and sound a lot better. So the next thing is to use slow motion. Slow motion is really good because a lot of these tricks are really, really fast, so it's helpful to be able to slow it down so people can really see what's happening, and also it's just a really cool effect. So there are a couple of drawbacks though. On my camera, which is a 600D, it only records 720p at 60 frames per second, which means I'm getting a lower resolution, but the main problem is that it has a lot of problems with aliasing when I shoot at 720p, but for me I think it's worth it. You just have to bear in mind that there could be some problems if you're going to be shooting with a brick wall in the background, for example. Okay, so the next tip is to make sure you shoot on a whole range of locations. You can just film in one day if you want to, but I think it'll give it a lot more production value if you shoot on a whole range of days at lots of different places. Gives it a nice bit of variety and makes sure that people don't get bored. So we shot over 4 days and captured more than an hour and 10 minutes of footage. Now this is really good because it means that you have a lot to choose from and you can choose the absolute best shots. Okay, so the next one is another important one, and that's about how you edit the film so that it fits with your music. So once you've chosen a song which you think fits the style of the rider, or maybe you've written your own song, but you want to make sure that the pace of the song fits the pace of the video. Now, a really easy way of doing this is just to listen to the song and see which bits are the most upbeat and see which ones are the kind of low-key parts, and then just fit the films to that. So often at the start of the song, it'll be really just kind of starting to get going, and that's when you can use the shots of maybe not the biggest tricks, but just them arriving at the skate park and stuff like that. And then once the music really kicks off, that's when you can start to have the big tricks, and it just kind of goes up and down to go along with the music. So the main thing is to just pay attention to what the music's doing and just have that in the back of your mind while you're editing. So one of the things I want to focus on when I make my next edit is to actually try and find a story within the edit. So it's very easy to just make a film which says, look, here's a guy who can do a lot of cool tricks. But if you can actually find a story out of that and make it really interesting, then that makes it a lot more watchable, and it'll be a lot more likely to kind of get shared around because people actually find it entertaining. So trying to find a story is something which I find quite difficult, but it can be done, and I think that is one of the things that makes a really, really good edit. Like I said, I haven't done that very well with mine, I don't think, but it's worth just having that again in the back of your mind, thinking, well, where's this story in this, rather than just a sequence of tricks. Okay, and my final tip is to just watch loads and loads of edits. Watch all the other people's ones and see the things you like and things you don't like. And I'm going to have a link in the description to one of my favourite skateboard films, and because I think there's a lot to learn from that. And then I've also got a link to my edit, which will be in my Cade Visuals channel, so you can check that out if you want to. And yeah, so that's it for this week, and I'll see you next time.